sitting here with Athena Demos, the LA Regional Coordinator for Burning Man and the Executive Director of the LA League of Arts. So, welcome. Thank you for agreeing to be part of this and sitting here now and joining me.
Absolutely.
So, can you tell me a little bit about LA Burning Man and the LA League of Arts? So, can you describe those organizations and how they work together?
Sure. So the LA Burning Man community is somewhat synonymous with the LA League of Arts. The LA League of Arts is the foundation, the corporate infrastructure for the LA Burning Man community and the umbrella which we work under. Our mission statement is to foster community by helping facilitate the creative process through public art, education, and events. So it's really vague. We can do just about anything and everything, and we do everything and anything. From our Decompression Festival, which is co-sponsored with California State Parks, and we have about 5,000 people that attend that, to civic events. We do community gardens at low-income schools. We did one at George Washington Carver Middle School. We're doing another one at Santee High School. And it's not just a garden. It's a fully sustainable organic food garden with art. It's got art has to be part of it, and the whole community was part of building it. So we fostered community by getting all these different groups and people to come together and learn gardening and plant and create and build. So it was an amazing process, and we're doing this at Santee High School, and actually LA Unified is really interested in having the Burning Man community work more and more and more with LA schools.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. City of LA is very interested to see what we can bring. We're going to be submitting a proposal to redo the front lawn for City Hall because, it got completely destroyed during the Occupy movement. And now instead of planting grass, they're like, maybe we should do something more interesting here. So they've invited us to submit a proposal. So the LA League of Arts, the LA Burning Man community is getting involved in Los Angeles civic affairs.
That's awesome. So other than decompression and the community garden, what other kind of stuff have you guys been doing here in LA?
Well, we've been working with the fire department in getting CERT trained. That's community emergency response training, so that in the situation of a natural disaster, we will be equipped to help the fire department. I mean, we're already incredibly well equipped. I mean, we know how to survive. But it's helping the fire department help other people survive. And so they're teaching us search and rescue techniques. They're teaching us basic Red Cross. A large section of the community is going to go get their EMT training or first responder training. And the fire department knows they can count on us. And we're cataloging pockets of where the burners are that are trained so that the fire department knows where they can go to, where these pockets are and where we're most likely going to set up. So they know the infrastructure that they can utilize. So that's one of the things that we're doing. And right now we're working on an overnight camping trip, a regional event that will encompass, well, we're going to do a Los Angeles regional event, but we're also going to do a regional event that encompasses 5 or 6 different regions and get everybody involved.
So for the CERT training is one of the requirements that everybody has unicorn horns or noses or wings when they go out in case of the emergency? Is that like part of the emergency survival kit for burners? It's like, we're gonna go help people, put on our fairy wings.
Kind of. There's a whole group of people that got CERT trained that are clowns, and they all have red noses in their kits. Because you got to bring a little bit of levity when your entire house and your livelihood has been destroyed by an 8.0 earthquake. You kind of had to have a little levity, so a little clown nose, very Burners Without Borders. So yeah, the different people put different things that express themselves into their kits, and definitely, burning art and creating something like that is something that gets brought into it. But yes, I have about 10 clown noses in my CERT kit. Nice. Little foam clown noses.
Just think I was joking.
No! For myself and my friends, and I'm sure other people have unicorn horns or fairy wings or something.
That's awesome. So you're the LA regional. So can you describe what that role is like, and what do you do as the regional here in LA?
What I do as the regional in LA is do as many activities and events as possible to bring the community together. So like last summer, we did a whole film series where once a month for 6 months, I showed a documentary about Burning Man at the Egyptian Theater, and we took over their courtyard. It was on Hollywood Boulevard. We took over their courtyard with theme camps and art installations, and for the whole day, people could come and hang in the courtyard. It was like a little tiny piece of Burning Man, and then we'd go in and watch a film and have a Q&A with the filmmakers, and it was a blast. And we had a very good response, and the Egyptian loved it.
What else are you involved in? What are you?
Outside of the Burning Man community?
Oh yeah, just in general.
Well, I have a regular 9-to-5 job.
So what do you do for?
I'm a production coordinator for Mariah Films. It's the documentary film division for the Simon Wiesenthal Center. So still fostering community, bringing people together, but through a different type of documentary film. Mm-hmm. Our films are more about the Jewish experience and the Holocaust and persecution and depression, and they're all pretty sad.
Yeah.
But I love the job. I love working there. My crew is absolutely awesome. And that job affords me the ability to do all the other stuff I do with the LA Regional.
That's fantastic. One of the things that I think I love about our community is that, there's people who live 24 hours as artists and are part of the community, but then there's a lot of people who have regular day jobs, and then they, are still part of the community and contribute significantly. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously you contribute significantly helping organize a large part of stuff. So tell me about the core project. You guys brought a core project this year? We
did a core project this year, and we came up with all sorts of interesting ideas. I wasn't actually that active in core. I helped out with fundraising, but I was so busy doing the film festival and the film series and DCOM and CERT and half a dozen other things that were going on that I sort of let the other regional coordinator that just stepped down, Deb Steyer, sort of take it over. But it started out with like they were going to build these beautiful angels, and then there was going to be this cistern, and then there was a freeway system, and it was really kind of interesting. They took the entire LA freeway system and then put it up on its side so that it had all these like weird shapes and stuff. It was really, that one was really fascinating. And then somebody came up with the idea of a food truck, because a food truck fosters community. People come together around food. Yeah, so it was like, if you want to talk about all the different cultures in LA and everything that goes on in LA, and then the culture of food trucks, and people follow the food trucks around, and food. I'm like, oh yeah, the food truck idea. And it's like, it'll be really easy. We'll just make a box, and then it'll be a big joke because we're making this big food truck and we're going to burn it. And then I found out about this company that was going out of business selling set walls. Or I think they were giving away set walls, or they were selling set walls. I can't remember what it was, but whatever it was, we ended up with this giant truck full of set walls. Old set walls that had been used on a gazillion different shows and movies, and Lord only knows what shows those set walls were from. Honestly, it could have been anything and everything. Some of those walls have been used in like 15 different things. So it was honoring Hollywood by burning them on that truck. Might have been toxic too. And who knows? And we came up with this idea of the food truck, and people really attached themselves to the truck. They were just like, yeah, this is a great idea. It's a joke. It's hilarious. It's funny. We're going to do it. And it brought an entire team of people together that had never worked together.
I think that's one of the beauties about the whole core project.
Yeah.
Is that it really fostered a community where a lot of places where there hadn't been community before. So
it was hugely successful. We served a lot of food, and it was a lot of ridiculous food. Like we had this bizarre sushi that was like Twinkies cut off, wrapped with fruit roll up with like Pop Rock sprinkled on top, and like a gummy worm. It was just so hysterical. It was like all these like different types of sushi rolls made out of
you're like sugar bomb tempting me right now.
Yeah, it was silly. But then we had burritos, and we had
I heard about the burritos, and every time I'd walk around and somebody would be like, oh, they were serving burritos, I'd be like, oh, I want to have a burrito. And by the time I got there, the thing was shut. And I'd be like, oh,
Well, that's a food truck.
Yeah,
you never know, you know. And
I've been trying to get a food truck here in one particular food truck here in LA, and I can't. Every time I try to get there, and they're gone, and then they say they're going to be somewhere, and I get there, and they're not there because something happened. It's like frustrating. I want this mysterious food out of this one particular food truck.
we started making weird stuff out of the food truck. Like we ran out of tortillas. We like crushed up tortilla chips and made like these taco balls. they were like all the ingredients of a taco in a like a meatball. It's like all crumpled up and like, here you go. And I'm like, you're gonna eat that? Are you sure? I wouldn't eat that. And I'm like watching the guy like crush it all together with his bare hands. I'm like, oh. People were eating them.
All right, so we're sitting here in front of this amazing piece of art.
It's the greatest Burning Man gift ever.
So can you tell me a little bit about what it is and how it came into your possession here?
Yes, this is one of the David Best altars. He made 5 of them for a BRAF fundraiser, and they were brought to the Playa. I think they were built on the Playa, and I was gifted this one. There's another one on my front porch, which was gifted to this artist, Maya, and she's been traveling all over the place, so I'm just holding it for her until she has time to take it to New York. So there'll be one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. There's one that went into the District Everywhere container to be brought out next year, and or 2 were put in the container, and 1 was burned because the person who won that one requested that it be burned. So out of the 5, 4 are still in existence and 2 are living with me. It's pretty awesome. But I consider this actually to be property of the LA League of Arts. I feel like more that it belongs to the organization more than it belongs to me, but the organization is housed out of my home, so I live with it.
Nice. So you can expect to see this at LA events?
It's so fragile, it's really hard to move. We were going to have it at LA DCOM, and you know, you got to take the crown off and lean it over, and it was such an ordeal that no. But all the board meetings, all the DCOM meetings, all the organizational meetings, everything happens here in my living room. So it's here for all the meetings. And I feed it flowers on a regular basis, and I have like a piece of obsidian from Gerlach. It was gifted to me by one of the citizens of Gerlach. This is an actual black rock from the Black Rock Desert. And so I have little things that have been given to me, maybe my last Burning Man ticket ever, if the ticket situation goes as it's going. And so yeah, it's a beautiful altar piece.
Which brings us to the topic du jour. So just moments before we sat down to videotape, to shoot this little interview, an email came out about the Burning Man ticket situation. So I think it would be remiss of us to not at least mention the fact that it is out there. So if you're tuning in and you haven't yet checked your email, you might want to read up and find out what Will Chase and the Burning Man organization has put out for tickets. I am still processing the information.
I'm still processing that information as well. And
I know that there's one piece that's particularly hard for me because I did not put in for a ticket this year because I was anticipating being able to get a ticket on the secondary aftermarket. And I just found out that I'm ineligible for that because I didn't put in for a ticket. So
yeah, that doesn't seem very fair. I mean, I see where they're coming from. I see why they did it that way because there were so many people that put in. But not everybody did. I know a lot of people that didn't. I know a lot of people just expected to do the first come first serve on the last 10,000. Mm-hmm. Nobody anticipated that so many people were going to put in initially. And I know a lot of people, I personally know people that had their mom and their sister and their brother all put in tickets for them. So are those people now going to be available for STEP as well?
Yeah.
It seems that and I see what Burning Man's doing. I get the logic behind it, but it's going to create a lot of ill will. But I think, no matter what they did, it's going to create a lot of ill will.
Yeah, no matter what they did. The problem for me is I had very limited funds at that time, because I'm on the road making a documentary film about our community. And so I had I did a cost benefit analysis. It was like, okay, well, I can tie up half of my available cash
Right.
in a ticket, or I can hold off, and then whenever I have the money, I can start looking at the secondary market and, you know, pick up a ticket. So I'm, you know, now I'm concerned because, you know, the largest secondary market is now closed to me, and I wasn't anticipating that.
Right. Well, I get people contacting me all the time with tickets. Last year, like, I'm driving to Burning Man, I'm on my way there, and I have people calling me saying, I have a ticket, do you know of a deserving person? So
I'm still hopeful.
I'll call you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'll call you. If somebody calls me and says, Athena, I got a ticket, do you know a deserving person? Because I'm telling you, it happens every year.
Yeah.
I get people coming to me with their tickets, and so I will let you know.
So I'm still 75% hopeful, but there's this 25% of me that's like, yeah, but this year is different. And so, you know, there's that part of me that's like, ooh, wonder how that's gonna
But
play.
you might have somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
You know, there might be something else
I can
going
only
on.
hope so. That
There might be, you know, some participatory event
Events.
that happens somewhere else during the same period of
Well,
time.
there is, you know, I mean, there is, you know, on that note, there is all across the country alternative events that happen over Labor Day weekend, specifically aimed at our community. Austin, Texas has one that I know of.
Sure, and there's Leave No Burner Behind, or they say Leave No Burners Behind.
Right.
Like don't leave the behind of the burner. But that happens in LA all the time.
And then there's Bosselman, which is a national movement now. There's several Bosselman events all across the country. So there's alternatives for people who don't end up with a ticket. So, you know, that's all I can really say right now because I'm still processing the whole.
I'm a little leery about the whole theme camp thing. The fact that they're going to go back through the history of Burning Man, look at the history of the theme camps and who's contributed the most, and then contact those theme camps that they want to contact and offer them the 10,000 tickets. At some sort of need basis, they're going to get a lot of hurt feelings. And, you know, if there's a theme camp that doesn't get contacted right away, if they do all of San Francisco first, but they don't reach out to LA or New York or Texas or, you know,
or Kansas City.
Or Ireland, or Africa, or China.
Yeah, I do not envy them in the position that they've put themselves in because.
And the international people have it rough. They have to get visas and plane tickets, and their planning is 1,000 times harder than us in the U.S.
Yeah, so I do not envy them at all.
It was a tough decision that they made, and it's an even tougher decision to live with.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough decision to implement. I do not envy having to figure out how they're going to distribute those 10,000 tickets. But, you know, the good thing is that there's plenty of participatory experiences happening all year round, all over the world. So Burning Man is not the only place.
No, and actually I was very happy at the town hall meeting, which you were at. Some of the theme camps just sort of came up with their own idea of like, hey, I only have half my crew, you only have half of your crew. Why don't we get together, combine our crews, and do something new? So that's like fertility, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like two other groups breeding and creating a new child.
Yeah. So we can only hope that there's more of that. So I'd like to thank you very much for sitting down and talking.
My pleasure.
I really enjoyed our conversation. And stay tuned for our next episode.
See you at the next participatory event.